A mall of many names, what's now called the Forest Fair Village has seen a multitude of owners try to make a success of the second largest mall in Ohio, only to have the massive structure thwart their every attempt. The site, located at the junction of Winton Road and I-275, was originally intended only to be the location of a new Biggs hypermarket. However, in 1986, Australian retail developer L.J. Hooker acquired the site and instead chose to make Biggs an anchor of a new shopping mall that would be known as Forest Fair Mall. At 1.5 million square feet, this would make Forest Fair Mall the second largest mall in Ohio, behind the now defunct Randall Park Mall. During the development, both Higbee's and Bonwit Teller signed on to be anchors of the mall alongside Biggs. Shortly thereafter, in 1987, developer L.J. Hooker bought controlling interest in Bonwit Teller, along with B. Altman, Parisian, and Sakowitz. Both Parisian and B. Altman would be confirmed new tenants for the development. The first signs of trouble appeared for Forest Fair Mall a month before the planned opening, when Higbee's pulled out of the mall after being purchased by Dillard's and San Francisco 49ers owner Ed DiBartolo. This caused B. Altman to be relocated from their original storefront to the now vacant Higbee's location. On July 11, 1988, the Biggs wing of the mall opened with 20 other stores. And because of the relocation of B. Altman, the anchor space originally intended for them sat vacant. Shortly after the opening of the Biggs wing, department store Elder Beerman announced they would be moving into the vacant anchor space. While Elder Beerman may have filled the void left by Higbee's, all was not well with developer L.J. Hooker. Due to their overexpansion in the U.S., L.J. Hooker filed for bankruptcy and put the mall up for sale a mere 11 months after opening, with an initial asking price of $200 million. Also, as a result of this, Parisian was sold back to their original investors. And in August of 1990, 2 years after the initial opening of the mall, B. Altman, Bonwit Teller, and Sakowitz would begin liquidation sales and shutter. The fledgling mall lost 3 anchors at once. In October of 1990, the second in a long line of owners would appear when FFM Limited purchased the mall. This group was headed by the banks that initially loaned L.J. Hooker the $250 million construction cost. With the new owners also came a new name, the Shops of Forest Fair. The mall would be divided up into wings, with each wing having a theme. The Northwest wing would become the Lifestyles of Forest Fair, with a variety of sporting goods, entertainment, and home decor retailers, with the vacant B. Altman storefront as their non-existent anchor. The Southwest wing would be the Fashions at Forest Fair, with Parisian and Elder Beerman as anchors and featured traditional clothing stores. The Biggs wing became the Markets of Forest Fair, and the Bonwit Teller Center Court became the Festival at Forest Fair, with a focus on dining and entertainment. These changes seemed to breathe new life into the mall. When FF Limited purchased the mall, it had a 65% occupancy rate. After the rebranding and new focus, that was up to 90% for 3 of the 4 wings. The Lifestyle wing, though, continued to struggle with a mere 25% occupancy, and the B. Altman storefront would sit vacant until 1994, when Kohl's opened up one of their first Cincinnati stores. 1995, though, would see the mall put up for sale once again, when owners FFM stated they did not intend their ownership to be a long-term deal. The mall was then sold to Miami-based Gator Investments in 1996. Under Gator Investments, the mall would see a massive changeover in anchors. Burlington Coat Factory replaced the Festival wing. Bass Pro Shop took over the former Parisian store. Media Play would open between Kohl's and Burlington Coat Factory. A Showcase Cinema and Metropolis nightclub would open to enhance the entertainment options at the mall. After owning the mall for 5 years, Gator Investments would sell to the Mills Corporation, making them the fourth owner in 14 years. The Mills Corporation also came with a massive renovation of the mall. Small independent retailers were driven out of the mall, and the mall was redecorated, bringing it more in line with the other Mills properties at the time. And in August of 2004, the the Shops of Forest Fair was renamed Cincinnati Mills. Under the Mills Corporation, Elder Beerman vacated their 2-floor storefront, but the mall had an occupancy rate of 90%, and the upper level of the old Elder Beerman store was filled with a newly opening Johnny's Toys. However, much like mall ownership, this would not last. In 2006, the mall occupancy would slump again. Media Play closed its doors, and it saw an increased competition from the newly opened Bridgewater Falls, as well as continued competition from Northgate and Tri-County malls, both 2 exits away, east and west off I-275. This led to the sale of the mall for the 4th time in 2007, when Simon Property Group bought the Mills portfolio. A year into Simon's ownership, the oldest and original anchor, Biggs, would close its doors. Simon Property would only hold the mall for 2 years before selling it to North Star Realty in January of 2009. North Star purchased the mall that saw declining occupancy as retailers were locating to the newly opened Cincinnati Premium Outlet Mall in Monroe, Ohio. And of course, along with the new owners came a new name, the highly original Cincinnati Mall. The struggling mall fell behind on their property taxes, and as a result ended up with yet another owner, Cincinnati Holding Company, in 2010, bringing the owner count up to 7 in 22 years of existence. Under the Cincinnati Holding Company, the mall would continue its downward spiral, with the mall losing tenants until only Arcade Legacy remained in the mall proper, with Kohl's and Bass Pro Shops as the remaining anchors. And of course, the mall would change its name once again to Forest Fair Village. Currently, the mall is being offered for sale with an asking price of $55 million, 1/5 of the original construction price. Even at that steep discount, there does not seem to be much interest in redeveloping the mall. At this point, the only visitors inside the mall are urban explorers looking to explore a massive dead mall, or retro gamers looking to buy and play games at Arcade Legacy. And it appears things will remain this way for the foreseeable future. Forest Fair Village is a mall with big dreams and abject failures. Its initial creation was rocky, with an overextended ownership that collapsed soon after opening. The constant ownership changes led to an identity crisis, and the mall never really found its place in the Cincinnati retail space. Now it exists as a massive structure standing but barely operating, waiting for someone to swoop in and purchase it. But for once in its lifetime, that savior does not seem to be coming. Instead, Forest Fair Village now stands as a relic of retail times past, a time capsule of a time before online shopping, when you would buy your boutique items in a retail store while snacking on some Cinnabon. The only question is, how long will this relic be allowed to stand? Is there hope that life can be brought back to the mall, or will it meet the same wrecking ball like Randall Park Mall did in 2015? Only time will tell. But in the meantime, it remains standing as a time capsule of retail history with its vacant storefronts, and a reminder of what happens when one dreams big and fails.